Hello guys, thank you for checking in. Today I'm sitting here with Norberto Palomo. Nice to see you, Norberto.
Nice to see you too, Peter.
Norberto has been working with us for quite a few years, but he has an interesting past. Norberto used to be the bank director of NatWest in Marbella, in the San Pedro branch. Then it became Solbank and then it became Sabadell. So it's a very big group of banks. And Norberto is our expert on mortgages. And quite a few clients we have want to know the possibilities to finance their purchase through a mortgage. The other day, the European Central Bank, the ECB, had a meeting and they fixed the interest rate, the Euribor, at 2%. They don't think that it will be any more cuts. It was 2.5% in January this year. And this is quite good news. It's a low interest rate historically. And a lot of our clients, they do want to finance. So I have a few questions for you, Norbert.
Yes, Peter. Tell me.
We know that it's based on the Euribor when you buy, but what other costs are involved for someone who wants to buy a property?
Well, the cost would be the bank fee for which represents 1 to 1.5%, and obviously the payment for the valuation.
Okay, so valuation of let's say a 1 million euro property, how much would that be, more or less?
The valuation of the property would represent. It depends on the company they use, but a small percentage of whatever price will come out of the valuation.
Okay, so basically the client pays for the valuation, which is not a big deal, and then a percentage to the bank.
Exactly.
Which is the same in any country, I suppose. And how much can someone from Euro, someone who is not a tax resident in Spain, but who is European, like most of our buyers are, how much can they finance?
Spanish bank financing 60 to 70% of the property price.
Okay, so it's based on the property they buy, of course, and they base it on the valuation or the price of the property?
It's based on the valuation,
okay,
which is the most important document for the bank.
Okay, but I know you told me before that is usually very similar. Normally the valuation
is very close to the real purchase price at the moment.
Okay, so that's not a big deal. Then we know more or less. Okay, and let's say that someone has an income of 10,000 euros per month. How would the bank look at how much of that money can you use for a mortgage? Is there a rule, a thumb rule?
Yes, the policy of Spanish banks is that the repayment of the mortgage should not represent more than 30 to maximum 40% of the net income.
Okay, that makes sense, like in any country, I suppose. And what else does the bank want to know about their client?
Well, the banks would obviously require some information, personal information of the client, such as net income, such as bank statements, and tax declarations of probably the last 3 years in the country.
Okay, that makes sense. And in your experience, most people, do they buy with a mortgage or do they buy without a mortgage?
Well, most of the buyers generally get the mortgage in their own country for a simple reason, because it's probably cheaper.
Okay. And maybe the bank knows them better than the foreign bank.
Obviously, and this helps obviously a lot to get the mortgage.
Well, that's excellent information, and with all that information we have, I guess it's pretty easy for you guys at home to calculate how big a mortgage could you get. If you know that about 30, maximum 40% of your income can go to the mortgage, then you can calculate more or less that 60-70%, and don't forget the costs, which can be 10 to 14%. Another thing is if you decide to buy a property through your company, or if you perhaps are from outside the European Union. And that we will talk about next time. Should we study that, Norberto?
Yes, we will. Definitely we will. Yes.
Perfect. So that's it for today.